Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, if you know me, you know I can get silly, but I can also get serious. And one serious subject that I like to talk about is um, many of you may know it, but there was a movement or a thing going around called 22 a day, where basically 22 veterans a day in their life um, for various reasons. And I'm reminded of that quite often. There was somebody that posted one today, and um, the guy, left his note that he left to his family, and basically said he couldn't stand the pain anymore. Well, as someone who's um, been through that thought process and made it through, obviously, since I'm still talking, um, you've got to understand where these people are coming from. Um, in my situation, now I just want to say I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychoanalyst or anything else. I'm just a person, expressing something that I've been through, and that doesn't make me an expert, but it makes me at least understand where they're coming from, because I I understood that note. When the guy was talking about he couldn't fight the demons anymore and he was in pain, and uh, he figured that was the only way he could end it. Um, what I'd like to say about this, one of the things that helped me more than once when I was in one of these situations was it's a case of oversimplifying things a lot of times. You think you think that you can't handle it anymore, and you think that the answer is to end it all. Well, that that isn't the answer, for several reasons. One of them is, yeah, you may end your pain, but guess what? Anybody that knew you, your family, your friends, or whatever, anytime they think of you, they're going to think about what you did and what they didn't do to stop you. So, as far as pain, you're just transferring your pain onto other people. Well, I thought of that many times. I thought, that's it. But then I thought about what my mother and father would have felt, and my sisters, my whole family, anybody that knew me, you know, for the rest of their life. If they thought about me, they wouldn't think about happy times or remember when he did this or that. They might eventually, but the first thing that's going to pop into their head is he couldn't take it anymore. He ended it. Well, as somebody who's 66 years old and have gone through a lot in life, I just like to say, what's your hurry? We're all gonna die. We all die. Sooner or later, we all die for whatever reason. So, why rush it? And as far as pain, excuse me, that's life. Life is pain. If you're not in pain, you're probably not living, you know? Um, you just have to learn to live with it. And some of it is, I understand terminal pain and stuff like that. There are medications to help ease things like that, doctor prescribed and stuff like that. But the main thing is, it's painting yourself into a corner. When you think you're looking at all the options and you think you've narrowed it down to just these few options, you don't know everything. A lot of times, if you just wait one day, everything is going to be a lot better. It might be a chemical imbalance in your head. You might not have the right amount of chemicals in your head, and no amount of reasoning and thinking is going to help you. But one of the worst things that you can do to everyone that knows you or knew you is to off yourself. So if I can guilt you into not doing that, then fine. But I suggest, if you don't have any friends at all, call one of these hotline numbers, and there's plenty of help out there. They can get you help. Like I said, it may there's nothing wrong. If people experience trauma and go through PTSD and everything, a lot of times you'll have guilt afterwards, like, why did I survive and these other people didn't, and it can mess with you. Your mind can mess with you, believe me. Some of the funniest people you may have ever experienced in your life are going through stuff you don't know. And a lot of times comedy is just an outlet, to get through that. Like Robin Williams, man, he was one of the last people I would have thought that would have offed himself, you know? It seemed like he was just like naturally scatterbrained and funny and can make any situation, he can make you laugh about anything, in almost any situation. But you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he's been through. You don't know where that's coming from. And so, all I gotta say is that I don't know everything, but I suggest that anybody that ever thinks about that to seek help, really, because the answer is not what you think it is. That to me is the what you might think of as the easy way out or the only way out is not. It's not the only way. It's not the only. I don't have any answers for you. Like, oh well, there's a lot of pain and everything. Yeah, I don't look forward to that, man. That's part of getting old too. As you start experiencing pain in areas you've never experienced before. One of the worst pains, though, that you can't get rid of is a mental pain. Anything else, a physical pain, certain amount of healing or whatever, or just acceptance, like, oh, you lose a limb, you can get a prosthetic for it, It may not be exactly the same, but if you lose a family member, there's no prosthetic for that, And if you think about it, when you go to think about them, you try to think about all the good things, but I'm telling you, all you're going to think about a lot of times is going to be the tragic situation that occurred, before. Believe me, from the day we're born, something out there is trying to kill us as human beings. I mean, if it's not the life clock of our DNA not replicating properly, it's all the stuff in the environment that's trying to get us. So you don't know also what effect you might have later on in life. Like, you might think that, wow, my life is nothing, or my life is crap, or I've just, there's a lot of people that have gone down to the bottom of the gutter and pulled themselves up, and also not only helped themselves, but helped other people. So, yeah, I don't want this to get all super sad or anything like that. I just wanted you to know that everybody goes through pain in life, and it's not equal, and it's not always fair. Some people go through a lot more than other ones should, and yeah, it's just not fair. But again, that's life. Life was never, never stacked up like here's a even deck of cards, and everybody's going to get the same hand and get the same chance. No, the rich always get more cards, and the rules are always different for them. And the poor have got to work harder. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that because you're rich, you have a better life. A lot of the things I learned was when I didn't have any money, and learned how to get by and stuff like that. So, anyway, I don't want to get all morbid with this or anything, but I just wanted to put that out as kind of like a ramble, or because I've lost people. I've known people that have ended their own life, and I've known people that their life ended too quickly, not of their own hand, through accidents and stuff like that. And the loss is the same on each one, except when a person offs themselves, and if you knew them in any way or anything before that, it's going to get you. If you're human at all, it's going to get you because you're going to think, man, I should have seen that. I should have seen the signs, or I should have said something. Or I remember that time when he called up and wanted to talk, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was sleepy and grumpy, and, just out of half stuff, I said, talk to me later. There are some people that do that. And you may have been the last person, on that list of you were the last straw that they were reaching out to. So that never happened to me. I'm just saying I'm sure it's happened to other people, and I don't have any answers other than don't do it if you're thinking about it, because like I said, what's the rush? And as far as like thinking you have all the answers, you don't have all the answers. You don't know everything. You don't know how. Mine was I thought I could see into the future. I thought I could read how everything was going to go. I just predicted it. Okay, it's gone this way and this way. Then A plus B has got to equal C. No, it doesn't. Life doesn't always work out that way. It might throw you a J or a K. You never know. But yeah, there you go. Sorry. There's a long rambling one. I haven't done a ramble. I haven't been doing very many videos. It was really hard for me just to get a humorous video out, because we all go through stuff. I mean, sometimes it's physical with me, sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's a combination of that, sometimes it's just, I don't know. But I don't think that way. For anybody that has worried or anything, I'm not going to intentionally off myself. I've been through that a few times in my life. Usually females were involved. Not that there's anything wrong with the female race, but or species or anything, but that seemed to be the common denominator in me, in my situations. So it's not avoid all people or anything like that. It's just you've got to be aware of your limitations on stuff, and you've got to be aware of the effect that you have on other people. You may not be aware of it. You may think that I don't amount to much, or you may be an inspiration to someone later on who becomes someone great. It may not necessarily be you. You may inspire some young kid to do something great for the whole planet. You don't know. You'll never know. But anyway, there you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.